In the words of an ancient pro, the journey of 1,000 interviews begins with a single placement test. And who better to unravel the art and science of acing these pivotal assessments than our distinguished guest today?
In this captivating installment, we have the honor of delving into the insightful wisdom of a true trailblazer, a mind that ignites like a beacon in the night, guiding us through the labyrinth of placement season, a name that resonates with excellence, a journey that echoes with triumph, and a spirit that dances with enthusiasm. Jay Maheshwari, a luminary who once graced the corridors of Spark Hansraj and now illuminates the corridors of Bain and Company, joins us.
The saga of a student turned president, a Hansraj alumnus turned Bain consultant, is one that words alone struggle to encapsulate. Imagine a mind that doesn't just think outside the box, it envisions entirely new dimensions beyond the nose. Imagine a personality so enthusiastic that it infuses life into every conversation, every interaction, and every challenge. Today, as we traverse the landscapes of aptitude tests, conquer the arenas of group discussions, and decipher the enigma of case competitions, Jay Maheshwari is our enlightening star.
So,
Okay, so
ladies and gentlemen, and potential warriors of placement youth, Kunal and I, Sanskriti, are your hosts, and today we have the privilege of engaging with a true exemplar of success, Jay Maheshwari. So, without further ado, let's dive into the ocean of wisdom that Jay has to offer.
first of all, thank you so much for the warm intro. I remember like just few years ago, I was there where you were right now, and today I'm on the other side of the podcast. It feels a little weird, to be honest, but uh, thank you so much for inviting me. Let's begin with the questions and all.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, could you give us a glimpse of the placement process in the various stages that one has to go through on a college level? And it would be great if you could also share how you personally navigated
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, the placement season in our college, Hansraj, begins somewhere near August, and it's a very enthusiastic plus tiresome plus uh, very unique journey that you will remember throughout your life, because at every rejection you face or every success you gain, you have people to share with, you have some learning to take from. So these are the two things that I think that the placement season is quite unique for that. So like the company starts coming from the August. Most of the companies have their shortlisting process as first one being CV shortlisting, second one being aptitude test, third one being technical round one, then fourth one technical round two, then cultural fit, and that's the end of the procedure. So if I want to like if I like a student from Hansraj who has experienced various opportunities uh, from 2 years that he was in college, like its societies and all. So you gain experience about the interview skills, about case solving, problem solving, and all. So these are tested in technical interviews. uh, my journey of placements were somewhat like there are three categorizations in Hansraj: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So the companies are classified such as uh, on the basis of CTC, first of all. So above 10 lakhs is tier 1, above 6 lakhs and below 10 lakhs is tier 2, and below 6 lakhs is tier 3. So you get the option to sit in all these tiers, but the system is like if you get into tier 1, you won't be able to sit for tier 2, tier 3, and your placement cycle ends at that point. If you get into tier 2, you have unlimited attempts to sit for tier 1, and tier 3 is blocked. And if you get into tier 3, then you have the option to sit for tier 2, get tier 2, or directly sit for tier 1 and get tier 1. So this is somewhat placement cycle looks like. You can at max get 3 offers from college. That is one offer from tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. if you get selected in tier 3 first, then tier 2, then tier 1. So this is the placement cycle in our college. If I talk about my experience during this placement cycle, so it was just like um, it was a journey that I still remember, that 2 months every day when I used to sleep, thinking that where I went wrong, or what should I do, how should I improve myself, what should I do to get into this company. This is my dream company. I want to get here anyways. And the placement cycle is all luck based, nothing hard work, profile and all doesn't matter that much. These all thoughts keep popping up if you face rejections in one of the placement also. And it is simply because of the expectations that you have from yourself, that from yourself, and second one being surrounded by your friends who get into those companies, and you think like that uh, we are at par basically. They have done the same things what I did in my college, so why not me and why them? So these are the thoughts that keep coming up. So this happened with me initially also. So I sat for tier 3 company first, the first company that comes into college, Deloitte. I was shortlisted for CV, then aptitude, I cleared it. Group discussion, I also cleared it. Then the interview stage was there. And I don't know why. It was my first interview in this placement cycle. I thought I did my best. There was nothing much to do on the improvement side, and I got rejected from there. And somewhat around 40-45 students from college were selected. Those were my peers. So that was the first rejection that I faced, and I was like, why couldn't I get through? So there were many things over time. I realized that it's not all about hard work, first of all. There is some sort of luck, but over time also you introspect on your process, that how you give your interview and all, and you are able to find some areas of improvement. No one is perfect, so you try to keep on improving every day and in every interview, and you try to give your best shot no matter what. So this was like that. Then I got, like, I sat for again 3 or 4 tier 1 companies. I cleared their aptitude, but like could not clear their technical round 1. So finally, the first company that I got into was in audit side, RSM. That was a tier 3 company. And like, uh, so the thing is, the situations around you during the placement cycle also keeps varying. So at that time, my grandfather was hospitalized. So I was in my city and I gave my interview from there. I got uh, tier 3 placement offer there only. Then I sat for tier 2 company, that was again Tres Vista. I cleared it. So that was tier 2 placement that I received. And then finally Bain, after 2 months into the placement cycle, I had the event of S.P.A.R.C, the society which I'm giving interview to right now. So I was the president at that time, and I was like responsible for organizing that event in general. So I put in my 1 month hard work there, and just before the event, one day before the event, that too late night, I got a mail that my interview is scheduled for tomorrow also. Tomorrow only. Like, it would not be shifted, and I have to give it tomorrow. So I had to manage both the things side by side. I had to be there also, and I had to give interview. Uh, so I cleared technical round 1 in the morning. Then I came to the event, organized it for 2 to 3 hours, managed it. Then I had to go again, and I had to prepare for 1 hour, and then I gave interview. So that was crazy day, and I still remember every minute of that day. So this is how placement cycle looks like, and you never know what works out for you. So you have given your best for every company, but there is some other company waiting for you, and because of that only, you might not be selected in some other company. So opportunities comes in your way, and hard works hard work somewhat leads into whatever that is meant for you in your life. So there's that. So all these three companies I got the offer from, and it took me around 12 to 13 companies to get these three offers. So I sat for 12 companies, rejected from around 6 to 8 companies because of other reasons. So starting, I was not able to clear one aptitude in one company, and then certainly improved myself during that journey and was able to clear interviews and all. So that was my placement journey, and it is unique for everyone who is sitting in placement. So all the best, first of all.
Thank you.
It
You
was
said
like
that Inesh.
a roller coaster ride for you during the entire period of time.
Uh, can you please repeat it again?
I just said it must be a roller coaster ride for you
Yeah,
during the
it was surely a rule. It is roller coaster ride for everyone. Like who got into their first company also, there were few things that they did initially, and they were not able to sleep for one day. They were waiting for a result. They were also not sure that they are getting selected in those companies that they got offer from. So it is roller coaster ride for everyone. It's just that after facing so much rejections, you learn how to take rejection in a positive sense, and you try to keep improving after that. So
Also, are there any online resources which you can refer to while preparing for the placements?
you can surely refer to many resources, but uh, I would say that for each company, you have to prepare somewhat differently, because the test of each company's aptitude test of each companies are different from the other companies. The general set is same, like uh, quants will be there, verbal will be there, DI, LR would be there, but in different format. So the best way to go about it would be, first of all, go to Glassdoor and check what type of test they have. Like the description of the test is mentioned over there, and the whole placement, like interview process, is mentioned in on Glassdoor. So that is the best website to refer to. Second, I would suggest is to go to your seniors, reach out to them who are placed in those companies, who have been there in the same placement cycle. Sorry, not cycle, but the placement journey. So ask, like, seek help from them. Ask what type of questions is asked in this aptitude test, what is the format, and try to see the format type and prepare accordingly for that particular company. But if you want to start and prepare for each and every company that is there in the placement cycle, then take up general quants questions, general verbal questions, TILR questions. Those are not that hard. If you have given DUJAT or any NMAT, Symbiosis test and all during your college entrance time, so like they are just like that only. So it's not that difficult to crack. It's just that you should know the format in which it comes, and the best thing would be to like develop a speed while attempting those questions. That's it.
And adding on to that, aptitude tests often have questions from a variety of domains, such as numerical,
Yeah.
verbal, LR, all that. So, how would you recommend someone approaches balancing their preparation across these like very different domains?
Okay. So it's similar to what CAD provide us. So what you can do is go to a YouTube channel or such, and try out, or just basically learn the procedure of solving different type of questions, like time, speed, distance, and the percentages questions, so that you know what are the tricks to solve those, and you can solve it in like very less time as compared to others. So that will give you a slight edge. For verbal, I believe you can practice for it, but you should like majorly focus on the interview part, because that is very difficult. The aptitude part is still doable. So you just have to practice the generic of all the types that are there in, like, the question types that comes in the aptitude test. And there are different set of questions also apart from these that you mentioned. So there are case based questions also that comes in some interview, wherein you have been provided with a case problem, and you have to guess the market size for it, or some part of it. You have to solve a bit of that. So for that you need to prepare, because that is something different that you have not done as of now. but rest of the other things you have done in somewhat, like the maths that you have learned till class 10, you have done that. English, basically, you can prepare for it, but you know how to read the passage. And I believe the student in Hansraj is good at all these things. But yeah, you can prepare for it if you think like that some part of it is weak. Like I know that my DI part might be slightly weaker than the other students in Hansraj. So I might focus on that particular part instead of solving for each and every part. So you should analyze your core strengths first, and then you should work upon it. So that would be the best way to go for it.
So, moving ahead of aptitude test, how do we efficiently prepare for the group discussion round, and how can we make the best use of allotted time during the process?
So I'll tell you the format of group discussion uh, that happens in the placement cycle. There are very few companies that do group discussions now. Earlier, it was a major part of the placement process. So, but yeah, if you want to get highlighted during those uh, like procedure that company follows, certain company follows, then you have to be sure that first of all, you should be fluent in English. And for that, what you can do is like take up a random topic and go to a mirror. Just speak in front of the mirror or either record yourself on the phone and try to analyze what part of that particular speech you're stuck at. Either the thought process is not there, either you are using the wrong grammar, because subconsciously we all have some flaws while speaking English. So it might be grammar for some persons. It, like for me, what I got to introspect and realize that it was using the words that I don't use generally. So the vocab part for me, it's challenging. So I use plain simple English that you have seen, but I don't use fancy words. And sometimes those fancy words comes in handy. So there's that. So like to go for a GD, you have to make strategies if you're not good at it. So there are two things. You can do it on your own, and that comes within you automatically. The second is if you want to get highlighted amongst the group of 8 to 10 students, and all those 8 to 10 students are competent, they have a good thought process, they have a good fluent speaking English. So there you have to develop strategies to crack into it. So one of the good strategies that I learned and followed was like if in group discussion, seven or like in a group of 10, seven are agreeing to one thing, so go for the other side. Like if go for that side of the part of discussion wherein there are less students or less speakers, so you will get more time to speak, and there will be others who will contradict you, and you have to answer that. So again, gaining more time to speak. But for that, you have to make sure one or two things, that before going to it, make sure that you have two or three strong points. So, uh, like one thing could be that uh, whenever the topic comes to you, then don't go first and take some time, analyze what others are speaking, and go against it. The second strategy would be if you want to get highlighted, start speaking, be the first speaker, but make sure you speak something fruitful. It should not be like, I just want to speak, then I'm speaking abruptly. It doesn't make sense, but I'm speaking just for the sake of getting that first slot and all. So there are two strategies that I've mentioned. First one being go first uh, and get highlighted, or either go on the against side and state two or three good points and justify others why they are wrong when they contradict you. That would get you more time. The third one being that most of the students while giving GD doesn't focus on is you should be good at summarizing, giving conclusions. So the format of GD is first everyone gives intro, then the second part is they discuss on the topic so and so, but one after the other. Then there is rebuttal round, like wherein you can question anyone what they have, why they have spoken certain things, and lastly you will get half a minute to recap all the thought process or all the like pointers that others have mentioned or you have mentioned in general. So there you can highlight yourself by taking out the best points from the group discussion as a whole and speaking those. So that is also key highlighting factor.
That must be quite insightful for our viewers.
So moving on, what kind of case books should one refer to when preparing for the placement process? And what is the importance of case buddies and like to what degree is it helpful?
So like for answering the first part of your question, I would say you can get case books of every IIMs or SRCC or any club for referring, but the one I referred and was easy to understand because this is the first time like you'll be actually solving cases with your friends, or before that in 2 years of your college you might be doing it for fun or just for the sake of getting the knowledge of a particular industry, or like it was more of an exploring part. But yeah, here you have to have a structured thought process, a step, like it should be conversational and it should be in a particular uh, what to say, it should be in a particular manner, framework and all. So for that, I referred case compendium and MDI. So the case compendium is of SRCC, and it is one of the most friendliest case books that I felt, because I started with IM A, B, C, and I was not able to, you know, get the grasp of it. Because I can read all those books, but I won't be able to deliver the same way that those case books present those solutions. So I would get disappointed, like any of my solutions were not matching to what the case books were providing with. So I switched to case compendium and started from there. Started with guesstimates, then multiple frameworks, then took up two or three uh, case problems from different books just to get the gist of type of problems that they have. So more the diversified case problems that you solve, the more your mind gets open, and the more you are able to think that this can also happen. Otherwise your knowledge is quite restricted to whatever case book that you refer to. So you should refer to multiple books, but make one book as your like key book, and you should follow that. You should know every type of cases that are mentioned over there, and look to other casebooks for getting different tones, the different way of answering, and different type of problems. So case compendium and MDI had the best guesstimates that I have seen till now, because their guesstimates had detailed solution. So when you get to see the detailed solution, as in the step by step, those thought processes that you never thought of, or even your friends, after discussing it with them, they were also not able to come up with, then you read those kind of solutions and you get to know, okay, this can be possible. And from next time you also try to incorporate those points in your answers or in your cases. So these are the case books that I referred to during my process.
Okay.
All right, that was very helpful.
Moving on to our next question. If someone in the graduating batch is starting their placement preparation journey from today, so how would you advise them to navigate through the various stages of the placement journey?
So if someone is starting today, like he's a bit late, one should prepare at least 15 days to 1 month. It is not necessary to prepare for it, but it gives you a good head start. Like you feel more confident, like you have read many solutions. So when one asks you a question regarding any problem, you might have seen it somewhere and you could relate to it. You could get the structure that was used over there to solve that problem, and you use the same kind of structure to solve the current problem that is given to you in the interview. But if someone is starting now, he should not get disappointed, and he should believe in his or herself, first of all. Second thing, I would say that now don't prepare for aptitudes as such, because you don't have that much of time. Instead of uh, just ask for a friend, like ask from a friend who has been through this process, like somewhat who has been preparing for 1 month or 2 months, and just ask the insights that he has developed. Like what should be the major focus area of his or her during preparing that problem, because many times it happens like you keep on practicing those questions that you're able to do and that are kind of similar. So you just have to prepare for different type of questions that you have not seen somewhere else, and that makes up for it. That's it. So he'll suggest you the different types of questions or what all questions to be focused on, and you won't waste time basically studying those questions that you already know how to solve. So that would be one thing for aptitude as such. And for interview and all, start reading case books. If he has done some case competitions, he might know the structure that is used in solving those cases. But he should majorly focus on reading multiple case books, and practicing case with someone who has the whole knowledge of how case works and all. So who has been preparing for 2 months, he could practice it with them. That's it.
All right. So, as the placement season dawns upon us, what are the key takeaways that you would like to share with our viewers?
So I would like I have shared my journey. So I would share 3 to 4 things that I find quite relevant with my process, and it happens subconsciously, but it is there in every uh, process that take place, or every student that goes through this process. So first of all, uh, sometimes you might get anxiety, or you might take more stress than it is required to before the interview. So that is first point. Don't do that. So most of the interviews, I think, and it has happened with me also, uh, goes bad just because of overthinking, anxiety, stress that we unnecessarily take just before interview. So I would say that prepare at your best level. Okay, prepare as much as you can, but don't think too much about what will happen during the interview. Just go, just maintain your calm before giving the interview, and that would surely make the interview better as compared to giving it in hastiness or stressfulness. So one thing is that. Second thing is that read about the company's role that the company is offering. First of all, job description is quite relevant before answering certain questions in the interview. So that would like job description, and what about the company also. So most of the students doesn't read about what was the company's history, what are their core values, and what are they looking for. So first of all, you should read through the company's history, how the company has evolved, what are the core business areas. Second, you have to look uh, like what role the company is offering, what are the skill set that they need for that role. Third, you need to highlight those roles, uh, those skill set in the interview, and it should seem like you are the right candidate that they're looking for. Fourth, if you don't have those skill set, it is not necessary to have everything that is mentioned in the job description. Don't self reject yourself. Just try to say that I'll learn that skill set during the course of next 1 year before getting into the job. Or if not, then be curious to learn on the job also. So you should highlight that you are curious to learn, you are able to take up different role, you can perform highly in stressful situations also. So these are few things that you need to highlight in every interview, and you should do before sitting for a placement or any interview that you go through. And for aptitude test, you should reach out to your seniors. You should check Glassdoor, like what type of format is followed over there in the aptitude process. And you should not basically think more about what you did wrong during the aptitude, but you should skip the question if you don't know, and fast forwardly you should attempt. You don't have a lot of time during the aptitude time. So basically you should be speedy, you should have somewhat accuracy, and uh like don't go blank between the aptitude, like I did this wrong, I did this wrong, I won't attempt the uh aptitude more forward. So complete the aptitude. You never know, like some your peers like you never know what your peers are doing in those aptitude tests. So it might seem like you have done very bad at a particular aptitude, but eventually, as compared to your peers, relatively have done well, and you might get shortlisted after that.
Well, it was quite captivating for our viewers. So, as we wrap up this episode, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our incredible speaker, Mr. Jay Maheshwari, for sharing his expertise, insights, and passion with us. Thank you so much, Jay, for joining with us. It was truly an incredible session.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And it is my pleasure to be uh, like a speaker for an event in my society, which I was a part of in college. So thank you.
And thank you everyone for joining us on this journey. If this session helped you in cracking your doubts, then don't forget to like and share this video. And do let us know your valuable feedback and questions in the comment section. Stay tuned with Spark Hansraj for more such content. Thank you.